And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jack in the Box High School Football Report. It's our first playoff edition of the season. I'm Chris Francis. Our featured matchup has a pair of somewhat surprising teams meeting in the district round. Sumner visiting Eastlake. Both fell short of winning their conference titles, so both had something to prove tonight. Eastlake led 21-0 in the second quarter when Sumner tried to get back in the ball game, and there goes Deontay Stoudemeyer catching the swing pass and just running away from everybody. 80 yards for the touchdown. They were down just 14 at that point, but the Wolves answered with a field goal, and then with just 36 seconds left in the half, the blocked punt. Cooper Williams running it in for a score, so their lead at the break was 31-7. That's a huge mistake, and just too many for Sumner tonight. Eastlake scored again in the second half. Garrett Carney powering over the goal line. That made it 38-7. Now, Sumner didn't quit. Give them credit. They scored twice in the final 9 minutes. Jesse Sandretsky getting in there. And then when Tyson Burnt hit Stoudemeyer on a crossing pass with about 3 minutes to go, it was 38-22. But the script was already written. I did write it.
We knew
Eastlake moving on.
We knew it was going to be a Pierce County street fight. The good news, the head coach at Eastlake is a Pierce County kid. I understand what those look like. So we got our kids ready to go this week, and they came out to run their stuff, and we got them out of it right away.
At half, we were talking, we just want to come out and score more points, get more points on the board. And at the end of the game, we got twos in, so that was good.
A good bounce-back win for the Wolves, who prior to last week's loss to Bothell had won 7 straight in pretty dominating fashion. They have the offense to score with a lot of teams. The X factor is the defense. Tonight they forced a number of turnovers. They had 4th down stops, and they blocked that punt you saw that went the other way for a touchdown. If they play that opportunistic on defense, they can make a deep run.
Big 3rd down conversions was big throughout the game. And, everyone making plays, line. I had all the time in the world, so it was all thanks to the line.
It's great to be firing all cylinders, especially when we get a big stop. We know that the offense is going to store. And if the offense trips up or we have to punt, then they know we got their back. And it kind of just goes both ways. And then there's a lot of trust that develops that we're going to carry throughout the rest of the playoffs.
All right, this week's Jack in the Box Player of the Week certainly did his part to put points on the board. In fact, he did everything. Glacier Peak wide receiver Braden Corwin caught a pair of touchdowns in a 17-14 win over Mount Vernon last Friday. He also kicked both extra points and the game-winning field goal, accounting for every Grizz point. Corwin still says he's not sure what was more fun, scoring those 2 touchdowns or the game-winning kick.
I knew they were going to try and ice me a couple times with timeouts. I kind of knew how close I was, so I was like, only way I shank this if it gets blocked. So I was pretty confident in it. I trusted my snapper and holder, and it just felt good.
For him, it's been, I think, a really cool experience. But for us, it's made us a little more dynamic. He's one of the fastest kids in the school and probably the best athlete in our school. And so getting a guy like that out on the perimeter has been really a bonus for our offense.
Corwin and the Grizzlies face Kentwood tonight. We'll have those highlights coming up in just a few minutes, but that is not all. We'll have the top-ranked team in 3A on deck. You know they were in for a good night. And a showdown down south, Yelm and Edmonds Woodway. Playoff time brings some great matchups you may not see for years. We're back right after Morgan's forecast. We are back on the Jack in the Box High School Football Report as we continue in the district playoffs. O'Day, the top team in 3A, poised for a return to the state title game. First on the postseason list, a date with Ferndale at Seattle Memorial. Nice play here. Irish Milton Hopkins to Taj Dials, the big fullback, right at you. It looked like he got into me, but they don't give him the touchdown. He's ruled out at the 1. He reached the ball over. Didn't matter. O'Day scored on a quarterback sneak. Second quarter, 14-0. Hopkins with the screen. Textbook blocking downfield. Yeah, he had a convoy, and he turns on the speed. Cameron Daniels all the way. Ferndale got 1 score, but it was all O'Day. They rolled 42-7. Gig Harbor with the difficult task of facing Eastside Catholic and a Crusaders team looking to repeat as state champs in 3A. Eastside Catholic looking great on both sides of the ball. Gig's drive stopped when Cade Desert gets sacked by Jalen Tuimoloau. And right after that punt, the Crusaders offense did their part. Gio Ursino found a hole, and he was never touched. 53 yards to the end zone, running away from it. Eastside moving on with a 34-14 win. I think another showdown with O'Day is coming down the road there. Still in 3A, Edmonds Woodway with a road trip to Yelm. The Tornadoes looking for their 2nd straight trip to the state playoffs and just their 3rd ever. Benjamin Hoffman called the signals and led the rushing attack. Nice job around the right side. on the keeper for Yelm. Second quarter, Hoffman to the air. Watch the pump fake here. It works wonders. They all go that way, and he goes long. Austin Shaler all alone. 13-3 Yelm. Now the Warriors came back. Reed Carr with a bullet over the middle to Nathan Tesfazion. And he scores back-to-back touchdowns, put Ed Wood in front, but Hoffman would not be denied. Another keeper up the middle. This time he's breaking tackles. He's pulling away, literally. Yelm pulls away for a 27-17 win over Ed Woodway. Puyallup needing a win, and a big one to get a good seed in the 4A state bracket. Meanwhile, Auburn Mountain View trying to play spoiler, but the Vikes in control as they take the opening drive of the third quarter right down the field. A 9-yard touchdown from Isaiah Dickerson, 28-7 at that point. The Lions did move the ball in their next drive. Cade Bodine with a scramble and a touchdown pass to the corner of the end zone. Cooper White with a great catch, made it a two-score game, but Puyallup was methodical. They went 76 yards, most of it straight between the hash marks. The running game unstoppable. From 7 yards out, Dickerson scores. A possible 5 or 6 seed for Puyallup. We'll see as they win 42-21. Kentwood embarrassed in the districts last year on their home field. They wanted to avoid a repeat against Glacier Peak, so they started fast. Jalen Church, Jalen Green, touchdown catch. Green going 24 yards to open the scoring. The two Jalens weren't finished, though. Church showing off the arm, and Green hauls one in with a defender all over him. It must be the green shoes. But the Grizzlies, you know, they battled back in this one. Ryan Black found a seam, 8-yard touchdown. And we heard about GP in our Player of the Week award. But they just came up short in this one. The Conks make up for their early exit last year. They're moving on with a 10-point win, 41-31. In 2A, Olympic travel to Franklin Pierce. FP has struggled the past few seasons in the postseason, but tonight their defense rock solid early, and the payoff, the snap over the punter's head for a safety. Offense clicking as well. DeLaquan Wood around the left side, barely staying in bounds. A 9-0 Franklin Pierce lead. Olympic finally found the end zone a few minutes later. Anthony Turso to Alexander Larson between defenders. That made it a 2-point game, but as we talked about, the Cardinals defense, they came up huge. A late interception for a touchdown earned them the win. Look at them stopping right there. FP heading to state playoffs with a 31-24 win. All right, time now for our defensive play of the week. Speaking of interceptions, brought to you by All City Fence. It comes to us from Memorial Stadium. Back to the O'Day-Ferndale game. Ferndale looking to pass. Bad idea. Cooper Mathers there, and now he's gone. Pick 6 for the Irish. We said they won it 42-7. Their offense can score with anyone, but their defense may win them the state title. Cooper Mathers with the defensive play of the week. Brought to you by All City Fence. For more scores and highlights, go to KIRO7.com. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back, everybody.